Well, hello. It's Feisty Fridays again. I've got a little sun kind of cutting me. I'm excited. There's been a lot going on in my world this week, and I want to unpack something in particular. And what I want to unpack this week is what is costing our organizations a fortune, in my opinion, in trust, speed, and safety. Now, what am I going to call this thing? Well, I think it's a trap, first and foremost. And I would like to call it the ambiguity trap. Oh, yeah. We have normalized the idea that being a good leader means being endlessly polite, softening every edge, and ensuring that no one feels uncomfortable in a meeting room. I hate this. And I'm guilty of it myself because we take a clear and systematic problem, issue, challenge, I don't know, dilemma, and we drown it in essentially buzzwords, corporate professional language, like maximizing synergies or evolving our parameters. But really, honestly, what are we doing? Clarity, it's not cruel to be clear. And ambiguity is used in professional settings to be polite. But the core problem is what happens when you keep things vague? Well, I know what happens when you keep things vague. People don't understand what you mean. And as a result, they make decisions about what you said that may be inaccurate. They will create scenarios and or write a different script for the reasons and the justifications for your lack of clarity. Ambiguity creates an environment where instead of addressing something directly, the leader themselves tables a generic presentation about it and calls it teamwork or communication. But the room itself is left questioning what the leader meant. People start looking around. It starts to actually affect individuals' nervous systems. I know it does for me. We look to our right and our left, we start trying to decode the message, and we can spend hours afterwards standing around the water cooler trying to figure out what the heck the leader meant and how far it's going to affect us. So here's the deal. When you and I fail to be direct as leaders, we are not protecting people. We're actually protecting ourselves. Polite language protects avoidance, not relationships. Let me say that again. Polite language protects avoidance, not relationships. And in this age of technology and AI adoption, relationships are all we have. Organizations, I wish they were machines because it would be easier to manage them, but they're not. They're not machines, they're collections of human beings. And those human beings are navigating complexity, not just in the workplace, but in their lives. And we need reality in order to operate effectively. And when you use direct language, you aren't attacking someone's identity. Now, they may feel you are, but that direct language actually helps diagnose the system. What we say as leaders is here's a pattern that's operating right now. Here's the impact it's having on our project. I'm calling it out. That clarity isn't mean. And for many of us, I think we're afraid that it is. It's an act of deep respect and high integrity to speak the truth. It shows that you care enough about the people and the systems or the challenges to invite them into the truth rather than forcing them to guess what you mean. I did this. I've done this. I've done it so wrong. I've been in a project meeting where I have literally given an update on a team member and I've used the language, this team member is no longer with us. And then I have continued with the project status report to have individuals at the table in the meeting question whether I meant that person was deceased or whether that person was fired. That level of ambiguity is something I have been guilty of. And as much as that example may be like a, dramatic example, I've done that. I have led a team astray by literally leaving a question of whether they thought I was speaking of someone who had passed away. How rude. How rude of me. And you know why I said it? You know why I said it. You know why I used ambiguity in that situation, as opposed to saying this person was fired. This person had to be let go. This person no longer works on this project anymore because we had to release them from their employment contract. You know why I didn't say that? Because I didn't want to deal with it. Because I didn't want to say that so clearly that then immediately it would mean what? That I had fired someone and that I might have to answer for that, that there would be other questions, that it would delay the project status report, that somehow in the room I would create an environment where people would be uncomfortable. Saying that still created discomfort because people didn't understand what I meant. And the reason not everyone at that table has English as a first language. So when I said that, they were trying to translate that into their own native tongue. And at the same time, it was confusing. It was misleading. It was ambiguous and it was unnecessary. I should have just been able as a leader to just say, unfortunately, I had to fire this employee. What's wrong with saying that? Why do we have to sugarcoat it or use professional ease to kind of make it sound kinder and gentler? Kindness, gentle, these words, they're actually in truth. We are most kind as leaders when we speak the truth, even when the truth is harsh and or the truth creates conflict. It's so important for us to still stand on that truth. And feisty truth means we just speak the truth. It's not that we're not going to still hurt people. But you know what great leaders do? They stay in the room. They stay in the room and they deal with the fact that someone is hurt by what we said. And they say, I'm sorry. That's what great leaders do. So my challenge for you in this Feisty Friday and for the next week is to think about how to audit your own language. Look at the emails you're drafting this week. Look at the feedback you're preparing to give. Have you diluted it so much that the real issue is possibly invisible to someone? Because healthy, high-performing systems and organizations are not conflict-free. They are conversation-rich. Conflict is not a negative. Organizations that have conflict are not bad organizations. Conversations are stimulating an opportunity to create more understanding, and organizations that prioritize conversations will grow. Growth does not emerge from polite silence. It emerges from honest dialogue, feisty truths about what's working and what isn't. And trust me when I say, I have done this, I continue to do this. Ditch the jargon, stop managing the optics, and find the courage to just be clear. Your team and your team's nervous system will thank you for it. See you next time.